Hello, this is Deb with Phenomenal Flowers. I'm going to show you how to make some gravy. These are the pork chops. This is the drippings from the pork chops, plus a little bit of butter with the onions. Okay, you could cook them down a lot. You could cook them down a little, based on what you're trying to do. Okay, once you do that, you're going to take some of the seasoned flour that you use to fry your pork chops in, and you're going to just put that into the actual pan. You don't want too much. You want it to make a nice roux. If it's not enough oil in it, you might have to add a little bit, but I think I've been making gravy long enough that I really don't have to do that. I'm going to add just a little bit more. You see the color? It's already a golden brown. Just going to add a little bit more flour, like another tablespoon, to make sure that it's not too greasy. See how that's all absorbing, the flour's absorbing. Okay, it's down to a 2 on the stove. I'm going to turn it up to a 5. The reason this part is very important is because if you add oil, hot oil, and water together and it's really hot, it will cook up very well and you don't have to worry about it being lumpy. I'm going to get the water and I'll be right back. I decided not to use water. I decided to use the Somthered chicken broth. We're going to pour that in, and it's really not hot enough, which means I'm going to have to stir it a lot, which is not terrible, but was not what I wanted. So let's start stirring, shall we? Just stir it. Plus, even though it's not a really old stove, it just does not get as hot as I would like it to get, especially on the very first try. Okay, starting to come together. Chicken broth, I think, is going to make it a little salty. I'm going to add about a half a can of water. I'll be right back. As you can see, it's really hot. It's starting to bubble around the edges, and that's what you're looking for, because it's going to get thick really fast. So I'm going to add the water, another half a can of water. My husband likes a lot of gravy. Plus, he likes what he calls motor oil gravy. He doesn't want it really thick. I like mine more to like a mid-weight gravy. So I usually meet in the middle. I don't have it like this, but I also don't have it as thin as he likes it. Okay. Doesn't have enough color, so I'm going to tell you a trick. This is the trick. We're going to add a teaspoon of Folgers coffee. It's going to add enough color. Okay, you can't really see the coffee. There we go. I added a teaspoon of coffee, with closer to a tablespoon of coffee. See how much darker and richer, how much better that looks. Gravy is also starting to thicken up. The good part about it not being too thick yet is the pork chops are breaded. So when I add the pork chops back in, it's also going to thicken up the gravy. I added the pork chops back to the gravy. I'm going to cover it and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. It hasn't quite been 10 minutes yet, but I want you to see how much thicker and richer the gravy is. I had already made some brown rice yesterday, and so brown rice was left over. Once this finishes up, it's going to make a really good plate of food. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. This is Deb from Phenomenal Flowers, the old school cooker. Have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.